AITA for refusing to give my brother my inheritance money after he told me I didn't deserve it anyway. When my grandmother passed away last year, she left behind a modest inheritance. Nothing life-changing, but meaningful. She split it between her grandchildren, with one important detail. I received more. This wasn't a mistake. I was the grandchild who lived closest, helped her with groceries, drove her to appointments, and stayed with her after my grandfather died. She was very open about appreciating that. My brother Jason, 34M, was furious. I'm 29F, single, no kids. Jason is married with 2 kids. He immediately argued that he needed the money more. He said it wasn't fair that someone with no responsibilities got a larger share. I reminded him this was Grandma's decision. He replied, well, she was old. She probably didn't think it through. That already hurt. Then he asked me to give him half of my portion so he could make it fair. I said no. That's when he said, honestly, you didn't deserve it anyway. You were just hovering for brownie points. I told him the conversation was over. Now my parents say I should share because family shouldn't fight over money. Jason says I'm selfish and punishing his kids. AITA for keeping what was left to me. Update. Jason has been telling relatives that I stole money from his children. I received messages from an aunt saying I'm heartless and from a cousin saying I should do the right thing. I finally sent a group message explaining exactly how Grandma divided things and why. I even attached a copy of the will. Jason replied, so you're choosing money over family. Good to know. I stopped responding. Update 2. My parents asked me to come over to talk it out. What they really meant was convince me to give Jason money. They said Grandma would want peace. I reminded them Grandma wrote the will precisely to avoid arguments like this. My dad said, you're technically right, but morally, that hurt more than Jason's insults. I told them I'm done discussing it. Update 3. It's been 3 months. Jason hasn't spoken to me, but I've learned he bought a new car instead of paying off debt, which was supposedly the urgent reason he needed my money. I still feel sad, but I no longer feel guilty. Story 2 AITA for telling my friend she's no longer welcome in my home after she kept correcting how I live. I, 27F, bought a small apartment 2 years ago. I'm proud of it. I worked hard, saved, and did it alone. My friend Nina, 28F, rents with roommates and has very strong opinions about how adults should live. Every time she came over, she commented on something. My furniture was too childish. My plants were impractical. My dog was too much responsibility for one person. My job was not ambitious enough. She always said it with a laugh. I tried to ignore it until one night she stayed over and started rearranging my kitchen because it made more sense. I asked her to stop. She said, I'm just helping. You don't always see your blind spots. The next week, she showed up with a printed list titled Things You Should Fix Before 30. I laughed at first, then realized she was serious. I told her she wasn't welcome in my apartment anymore if she couldn't respect my space. She cried and said I was rejecting her friendship. AITA? Update. Nina told our mutual friends I kicked her out for trying to help. Some friends say she was overbearing. Others say I'm too sensitive. Nina messaged me a long paragraph saying, she only criticizes because she cares. Real friends push you. I should be grateful someone wants me to improve. I didn't reply. Update 2. She showed up at my door anyway. I didn't let her in. She stood in the hallway crying loudly enough that a neighbor came out. Later she texted, I didn't think you'd actually choose your ego over me. That message sealed it for me. Update 3. It's been 2 months of no contact. My apartment feels peaceful again. I still miss who I thought she was, but not who she actually became.